Okay, apparently this is gonna turn into 2 videos because for some reason my phone shut off. So you guys saw the first 3 in the last video. Card 4. I have another background that I did a few months ago on there, and I just did it in brown and just rubbed it on my vellum. That last background, that second background was vellum also. I forgot to say that. And then sprayed it with isopropyl alcohol and then dried it really quick but far away so I wouldn't melt the vellum, just to get that splotchy look. And then I took the negatives from those leaves and that I used in card 2 and put them onto a piece of cardstock, yellow, like a pearlish golden yellow, and red cardstock, and then just peeled off the cover. I like glued them on with a 2-way glue pen. Put them on there, cut them out with my scalloped circle, says circle die. Popped them up on some foam tape. I mean, I did this whole card before I realized I never peeled off the cover of the foil. So I did peel it off, and at first I was mad because it took some of the stuff, but actually it makes it look like authentic and vintage. So I like the way it ended up looking. I took a leftover piece of that alcohol Yupo paper from the last card, this golden green stuff. Put one strip down the side of my card, and I also tied some white and gold twine with a little bow on the side there, and I just simply put the hello sentiment from the stamp set. Did it in VersaFine and covered it with clear embossing powder. Card 5 is another alcohol lift project. I just went around the edges all the way around with certain parts of the die and some stamps and some of the separate stamps also that I liked. As you can see, this one I used the stream, I used cranberry, and I used gold mixative. I did take some from my stash. I wanted to do something a little different. I've noticed that the alcohol lift ink doesn't work as well on the metallic alcohol ink. It does work, just not as well. But I think I like the way that looks. And as you can see, some of them slid because I was using an acrylic block and not my Misty, but still, I like the way it turned out. And then I used, these are the flowers I stamped from the extra pieces from this guy over here. And I stamped them out. I cut these ones out. They were from the leftover Yupo paper. These were the ones where I transferred the image onto Nina. Solar White, 80 pound. And then I just cut them out, simply left them as they were, and glued them straight onto the corner there. I also cut the edges with that antique paper trimmer from my grandmother. And then I used some iridescent Studio Katia drops on the card. I also did the thanks that came in the stamp set in lift ink, but you could barely see it. It kind of got lost in the card itself. So I went over it with a gold metallic gel pen and just left it like that. And that's it for card 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. I can't count again, guys. Card 6 was the transfer of card 5, and I liked the way it looked, but some of the outlines were very light, so I used zig markers that matched as close as I could and just watered them down, laid some color down, used my water brush pen. I wanted it to kind of look like watercolor. I used my wonky stitch frame for the outer edge, then I used it on the inside and popped the inside up with foam tape so it's got a little dimension. I did thanks across there. That was also done with the transfer from the lift ink on the previous card, but it was very light, so I went over it with a purple glitter gel pen, and I used some Purple Rain glitter drops from Nuvo and also some Holiday Cheer because they look more red than they do anything else. I also used some splatters from the same colors I used on the flowers and foliage. I just added some water to it and flicked my water brush onto the card. And I like the way this looks. It's a different look. It's not very autumn colored, but I still like the way it turned out. And what do we got here, guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Card 7. I used another one of those toner ink cards that came in the kit. I used the gold, like, circle decorative foil from the kit to do the flowers and the sentiment. But I fussy cutted this whole thing out, guys. It was a pain in the patootie. I used another Yupo background. I did an alcohol ink, which was mostly like stream with a little bit of yellow mixed in that turned some of it green, but as you can tell, I put green foil on it when it was still wet. I cut the edges off on that with my Lawn Fawn Lacy Borders stitch die. And I also laid down some 1/2" double-sided tape underneath there and used some more of that gold foil to line it and kind of separate the edges from the card. I popped these flowers up on foam tape. I also colored them in with my Copic markers, the lightest ones I could find. So I think the green was YG03, the blue was B12. I think that's all I used. This might be IB2 from Spectrum Noir. And that card was pretty simple. I also added some green May crystals from Studio Katia and some Onyx Black crystals from Studio Katia. And that's it for that card. A lot of these cards were fairly simple, guys. I didn't want to go too far outside the kit for supplies. And I didn't want to do them all in lift ink and alcohol ink. I mean, a lot of them are, but anyway. This was another background I did that I really, really liked, but putting it down flat on paper just didn't give it enough oomph. So I did some lift ink on it with some separate stamps from the kit. I also used that edge leaf on the bigger stamp down in the corner there. And then I also cut it into 1-inch strips. So 2 of them are popped up on foam tape, 2 of them are flat to the card. I cut this guy out of the last toner ink card. I did it in the orange foil, red foil, and green foil for the leaves, and then I colored them in with my Copics. I did Happiest of Birthdays to You and fussy cut all around, oh my goodness, the big fancy swooping letters, because having a big square on the bottom just blocked too much. Colored that in yellow. I think that was a GB3 marker from Spectrum Noir. And then I used some Studio Katia crystals. And that's it, simple card. Card number 9. I wasn't sure about this card at first, but my husband loves it. I wanted to do the whole stamp in something other than lift ink. So I stamped it out with VersaFine onto some Simon Says Stamp Fog cardstock. Colored it with my Prismacolor pencils. I tried to stick to autumn colors except for the background in there. That's some purple. And I think I used gray for this little sprig right here. Then I took some Nina Solar Crest 80 pound for the background, and I did strips of my scrapbook.com double-sided tape in 1/4 and 1/8 inch, and just took turns with the colors, every color in the set of foils that we got. I put a 2-inch strip of green paper across there and then popped the flowers up after I fussy cut them with foam tape. And I used the sentiment Thinking of You. I did that on green cardstock, the same green cardstock. Stamped it with VersaFine, colored it with clear embossing powder. I think that's it for this card, guys. I really like the way it turned out. I'm going to give you a close-up on some of these other ones real quick because I don't think I did that. I'm losing my mind. I hate being sick because I always feel scattered. Here's that one. And here's this one. That one. I also finally got the last piece I need to do voiceovers. I had bought a microphone for my computer and needed a transfer item to use it on the iPad, so I didn't have to spend money on a new headphone set and microphone. That came yesterday. All I got to do is find the editing software and I can start figuring that out on the iPad. Number 10 is by far my favorite card. It's not very autumny. It's very rainbow colored. Here are some 2 scraps left over from it, and I'm determined to do something with those. This background All I did, you guys, was add wild plum. The rest of those colors in there are combinations of the stream, the orange sunset, and the yellow that came in the kit. And then I repeatedly added it and blew it with a straw till I liked the way it turned out. And then I put the foil on, and I used different colors of foil: gold, green, orange, even some red in there. And then I took, these flowers were actually transferred from, I think some of them were transferred from the ones on this. Most of them were on this card. And a couple of them were transferred from backgrounds I did previously, but they were in stream in orange. And then I wanted them to look rainbow colored, so I tried to take all the colors that were in the outlines and use them in the flowers and leaves themselves. Some are glued straight down to the background. Some of them are popped up on foam tape. I also did the sentiment in lift ink, "So happy you're my friend." And I think in this one I actually had 2 extra items, so I glued them to the inside. And that is card number 10. So that's it, guys. Now the winner for the second chance at the Arteza 48 pack of real brush pens is Kimberly Guevara. If I'm saying that right. I hope I am saying that right. I'm trying to find a pen. I will put it down below, but please email me with your information at the following email. Within 48 hours, please, Kimberly, answer me within 48 hours, because I don't want the same thing that happened last time. And please make sure you have my email right. Congratulations. Thank you all for joining me and being patient with me. And I see we have some more new subscribers. Welcome. Thank you for coming to share craftiness with us. If you guys like what you see and you're just watching videos for the first time, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification button for wonderful giveaways like this. And as always, guys, I enjoy doing this for you. Please comment. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, what you would like to see. I know I just recently got a notification about doing the addition for my last Hero Arts kit with the watercolor.